All right, let's dive into an idea that might just change how you think about, well, thinking itself. We're going to take that old idea of your mind being separate from your body, shatter it into a million pieces, and then put together a picture of reality that is so much cooler. So, you've heard this a million times, right? The brain is the hardware, the mind is the software. It's a nice, clean analogy. But what if it's not just a little bit off? What if it's completely, fundamentally wrong? What if your mind doesn't just stop at the edge of your skull?
For the longest time, science kind of pictured the mind like this thing on the left. A brain in a jar, doing its own thing, completely separate from the messy world outside. But this new idea, embodied cognition, suggests it's way more like what's on the right. A constant, messy, dynamic dance where your mind, your body, and the world are all tangled up together.
Okay, so what is embodied cognition officially? The source material calls it a dynamic syncretism, which I know is a mouthful, but really it just means it's an active, ongoing blend. Your physical body and your thoughts aren't just teammates, they're woven into the same fabric. And that fabric is stretched and shaped by everything from your culture to the simple physical fact that the world pushes back. And this is the absolute key, the most important thing to get. Your thinking is not happening in some clean, abstract vacuum. It is fundamentally, unavoidably, and inextricably linked to your physical body and the environment it's in. Thinking isn't a spectator sport. It's a full contact one.
So, how does this actually work in practice? Well, let's start with your body. It's not just a taxi service carting your brain around. Nope, it's an active co-pilot, sitting right there in the cockpit with your brain, helping to fly the plane. See, thinking isn't just passive reflection. It's a constant act of prediction. Your brain is running this incredible biological simulation, always guessing, what if I do this, for every single move you make. And this link is so tight that doing a simple mental task like counting backwards can literally make you physically less stable. Your thoughts aren't just in your body, they're actively shaping its every move. And this is where it gets really, really wild. If your body is part of your thinking process, then your mind doesn't end at your skin. It actually extends out into the world. This is what's called cognitive extension, and it means we use the stuff around us to literally help us think. Just think about the most basic example, something every kid does. When you count on your fingers, you're not just keeping track. You are literally outsourcing part of the mental work of counting to your hands. Your fingers become part of your thinking machine. And today, this is happening all around us. Your phone, that's not just a gadget. It's basically a prosthetic memory. It holds names, phone numbers, directions, birthdays, all the things we used to have to store in our heads. It's become a seamless extension of our own minds. And this goes for everything. Every tool we pick up, whether it's a hammer or a high-tech VR headset, becomes part of our cognitive loop. It changes how we think, how we perceive, and what we're capable of doing. Our tools extend our minds.
And the science is totally clear on this. What this quote is saying is that your mental map of the world is shaped by the physical body that's doing the mapping. The fact that you have 2 arms, 2 legs, and 10 fingers, that physical reality literally defines the boundaries of how you're able to think. Okay, so our mind is tied to our body, and it extends into our tools. But that's not the end of the story. There's another huge, invisible force shaping our thoughts every second of every day. Culture. It's like the ghost in our cognitive machine. And culture isn't just about art and holidays. It's a deep, powerful framework that shapes who you are. It sets the rules for how you think, it gives you the concepts to think with, and it even tells you what's important enough to pay attention to in the first place. Let's go back to counting again. First, you have the universal hardware, your fingers. But then culture hands you a software update, number words, like 1, 2, 3, and then it gives you another powerful tool, written numbers. Each one of these is a piece of inherited technology that completely changes your ability to think mathematically. And what happens when a whole bunch of people start using the same mental tools? Well, you get this. You get shared frameworks. You get common norms. You get entire societies built on these shared, culturally constructed ways of thinking. So, our minds are embodied, they're extended, and they're cultural. But thinking doesn't happen in a perfect, clean laboratory. It happens in the real world, which means we're constantly battling 2 forces, what the source material calls fog and friction. So what are these? Fog is all the uncertainty. It's the noise in the system, the fact that you never have all the information. And friction is exactly what it sounds like. It's the world pushing back.
It's physical resistance, gravity, the sheer effort it takes to do anything. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds incredibly technical and complicated. But just stick with me because this quote is describing something you do every single day without even realizing it.
And there it is. Your hand feels that a glass is a little bit slippery, and your entire body-mind system instantly adjusts your grip. It happens before you have the conscious thought, I should grip this harder. The physical world, the friction, directly changed your cognitive response in real time. And that fog we mentioned, it's not just out there in the world. It's inside you, too. Your eyes and ears aren't perfect cameras and microphones. You rarely have all the facts you need, and your own brain has a baseline level of static. Thinking isn't a clean process. It's the art of finding a clear signal through all that noise.
So, after taking a hammer to that old brain in a vat mirror, what does the new reflection look like? Let's put these pieces back together and see the new you. Here it is. This new picture of your mind is built on 4 pillars. Your mind is embodied, completely inseparable from your physical self. It's extended, reaching out to use the world as part of its own process. It's cultural, shaped by the tools and ideas of those who came before you. And yes, it's messy, constantly fighting through the fog and friction of reality. When you boil it all down, this is the big takeaway. You are not a computer running software. You are a living, breathing, ongoing negotiation between your whole adaptive self and a messy, complicated, and beautiful reality.
Which leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. If your mind extends into your phone, your tools, your culture, where exactly does you stop and the rest of the world begin?